Hello and welcome to our fundraising event for donors of United Way of Santa Fe County. Today we are focusing on the program called Family, Friends, and Neighbors. Our Family, Friends, and Neighbors program was developed at United Way over 5 years ago, and what we had found from the first several years of serving families with other programs is that over half of families rely on family, friends, and neighbors for childcare when they're working full-time. And we also learned in Santa Fe County that childcare is very expensive for infants and toddlers, and it's also, there's not a lot available. So families that have two working parents are paying at least one income for a spot that they may or may not get in a childcare center. And often centers don't offer the extended hours that most families need for shift work or evening work or weekend work. So very innovative families have built a system of family, friends, and neighbors that offer childcare and bring two or more children into their homes. It may be relatives, it may be a neighbor, it may be somebody you know who's home with their children and that you drop off their children. And this informal network of taking care of each other's children is actually a big part of the fabric of early childhood in Santa Fe County and what we've learned also throughout the state of New Mexico. So we looked all over the country for a program we could replicate that already had been implemented. And what we found was there was nothing like this program anywhere else that we could find. So we built this program. Alicia Burola, who is one of our home visitors and educators in the program, helped us develop and find the providers that would be benefiting from our services. So what we embarked to create is a support network for providers at home to get access to education, to further their education as providers. We wanted to get materials into the home and information about the importance of early childhood development. So now our providers are getting access to materials, support, community around the important job they have of taking care of children. And I remember Alicia told me when she first started working with providers is that she had to work to convince them that what they're doing is very important, that the time they spend with these children is part of their early education. And so once we were able to communicate that, we found that these providers were really motivated and excited to be childcare providers and professionals in this field of taking care of children. So we developed the FFN program. It's not a publicly funded program at all. It's not recognized in a system of childcare networks, and we're hoping that that becomes more acknowledged as a very active and deep part of our community in how we take care of our children. And so we're really excited to have seen so much success in this program. And today I have Nancy Solis, who is part of that program. She's an employee of United Way of Santa Fe County, and she works with our care providers. And the cool thing that we'll hear from Nancy is that when we serve one provider with education, materials, resources, then we benefit every child in their care. So we kind of exponentially will impact young children through this system of helping to support the child care providers. So we are excited that this is one of our most innovative programs that we developed based on the needs and the feedback from our community. And now we've seen quite a bit of success, and we even have other parts of the country looking at our program, other parts of the state looking at our program to see how they can replicate and implement more support for these informal childcare providers. So the first thing I wanted to share with you today on our recording is some photos of the kids. It's amazing to see what they're up to, and I just want you to get a glimpse of what you'll see in the homes. The nice thing is that COVID hasn't really changed a lot of what we offer in this program because we focus on home-based education, learning, and care. So these providers already have that down, and you'll get to see some of the pictures that have been shared with our community through the last 6 months of what kids are doing at home and how these child care providers are helping to provide art, outdoor learning, routines and schedules every day. So take a look in these photos that you see look for the engagement, the learning, the joy, the activities that are happening with the FFN providers in our programs. Here we go. Starting at the beginning. So 6 great pictures. Nancy, why don't you go ahead and tell us what we're looking at, who those kids are, and how FFN works for these families?
Well, those kids are well, they were alone. I think it was Jesse, it was Arabella, Leon, Ian. We have many kids in our program. And FFN program is a really nice program. FFN works with family, friends, and neighbors, as the name says. Family, friends, and neighbors is a community program, and for unregistered caregivers, caregivers like grandparents, family members, friends who are taking care of children, not their own and under 5 years old. We provide home visits, events for children development classes, CPR, parenting classes, and many other classes, just thinking about the kids and trying to help the kids to get ready for school. We also provide snacks, food packages for the kids and families, gift cards, learning materials for the kids, community referrals, ASQs, and community resources, as well as the opportunity to the little ones to play with other kids and learn social skills. At the same time, they have a stimulating environment that helps them to learn and develop. And they're having a lot of fun. That's the important part, because FFN program is a really fun program, and the kids love it.
So it's not only an opportunity for the caregivers to get education, the children benefit too.
Yeah, actually, the kids are the ones who benefit the most from the program.
And what would you say are the most valuable parts of the FFN program for the families that you serve?
Well, I would say FFN is a unique program. There is not many programs like FFN around. I think it's the only one program like that here in Santa Fe County. And, because this program provides regular groups, individual opportunities, and support for caregivers that do not have any other support or registration. Caregivers that are trying to do their best regarding children's development, healthy attachment, milestones, and early education. FFN is a program who supports unregistered caregivers, and our goal is that all the children get all the tools they need before they start kindergarten. So that's our goal: prepare their children before they start school.
Mm-hmm. That's great. And you mentioned that food packages are part of what you offer, and you said today's your day for delivering food packages. Can you tell us a little bit about how that works?
So every Thursday, we deliver packages to our caregivers. Right now, we're doing that through just no face-to-face. So I just knock the door and I leave the package by the door, and then I call them. So we just want to be sure that they have enough food and the kids have something to eat during the week. So we do that every day on Thursdays, and it's a really nice. This is something that helped them a lot. So, and this is something that we love to do, because we have this good feeling in our hearts that they're having a good meal.
Mm-hmm. That's great. And I know for all of the United Way families that are participating, we've made the offer to deliver food packages. If there's any of the families participating who have food scarcity or need support getting food, we have Kids Kitchen at our Connie Early Learning Center that puts together food to take to the FFN providers and firstborn families. And so part of our response with the COVID restrictions is that we do the contactless drop off of food and materials, supplies. How else has your program changed since COVID, Nancy?
Well, we're still doing the same things, just in a different way. We have our visits by Zoom, FaceTime, WhatsApp, or phone calls. We have virtual events through our Facebook page, and we deliver the snacks and materials, gift cards, food packages to the houses of the caregivers. Of course, always taking all the precautions. And we're still doing online development classes, referrals, ASQs, and giving community resources to our providers through our private Facebook page. So basically, we're doing the same, just in a different way.
In a different way. So all the families that participate and the care providers are still receiving services. One last question, Nancy. Can you tell us how the FFN program has collaborated with the Santa Fe Community College for your child care providers?
Well, so we have a lot of providers who are enrolled in Santa Fe Community College classes. So we're lucky to have a lot of scholarships for them. So before they were afraid to don't have enough money to pay for their classes. Now they can go to college and continue their education, and they can have the support from FFN, because FFN is giving a scholarship for the providers.
That's so great. That's been amazing to see every year that you have more providers that graduate with a certificate or an associate's in early childhood education, and they really have advanced. It's almost economic development in many ways, or it is, because we're giving people avenues to education and also to become even more professional in the work that they do, so that they can feel proud of that work.
That's a lot of help for them. And we actually have a lot of providers that have their certificate already, and they're working toward to get the
associate's degree.
The associate degree. So
that's so cool. That's just amazing. And it's so great to see the success in this program. And I know now with COVID and people changing their opinions about large groups of children gathering, I think this home-based care provider is going to be a new option and focus for childcare situations, that these small groups in home with one provider may be an option that people haven't considered before.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great program.
Thank you so much, Nancy. I wanted to shift over to Susie, who's also on the call today. Susie Harburg is a board member. Hi, Susie. I would love it if you just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you support United Way.
See, I was a pediatric nurse practitioner by profession, and my last place of living was in Chicago, the Chicago area, and I volunteered actually in a project called the 30 Million Word Project, and this research comes from the 90s that says 85% of brain growth happens in the first 3 years. So I'm a really passionate believer in this early childhood. It's not just, education exactly, but just stimulation, understanding what it is we expect of our babies, and being with them and bringing out their best and helping them get that optimal brain growth. And United Way is an organization in town that really does a great job of this. And I think the home-based care, we can't have enough care-based care. And in order for moms and dads to both be able to work outside the home, they need someone that really understands child development that can take care of the babies. And so I think home-based is one of the most important ones, and I really love this program. I'm glad to hear more about it too from Nancy. That was fun.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah, I love hearing about it and seeing that it actually is one of our growing programs. Even during COVID restrictions, we're getting more child care providers enrolling, and more attention really brought to this option of care. And Susie, I know in your commitment to early childhood education, you do have a particular passion for the infant toddler stage and those early years of brain development. So tell me more about how you have become committed to this work.
Well, I do think, we have a lot of talk about preschool, 3 and 4-year-olds, which I think is critical. But in the state of New Mexico, as everyone probably knows, we're still at the bottom of many, many parameters for families and for children. And I think that part of the reason is because we're not starting prenatally and really helping all adults who interact with babies to understand what it is to actually help babies grow their brains. They can't just sit in a high chair, or they can't just sit and look at TV. There's so much that we can do in terms of at the 30 Million Word Project. We used to talk about just tune in, so be there with the baby, and then talk more. Just talk about anything that you're doing. Just talk about it with the baby, even though you don't think they can understand. There's still information going in that could be retrieved. And then the last one is to take turns. So if the baby does a little smile or a little sound, to actually mimic that back. And pretty soon you end up with a conversation. Right now, my son is here in my house with his 5-week-old baby. And it's amazing how much already this little guy named Felix can do. And just, he'll do a little coo and we coo back, and he's smiling and we smile back. So just all this stuff that is so important for brain growth. I think if adults that work with the babies and take care of them understand it, it doesn't take a lot to really help that brain grow. And so I think this particular program I think is critical too, because everyone needs some kind of childcare that's trying to work. And I love it that these are informal, but then we can actually help in whatever way that people need. We can come alongside them and help them be even better at what they're doing, because I have a feeling they all have a lot of skill anyhow, and they were doing it before. But I like it that we could just come alongside and support them in ways that can make both their job more interesting and also help the baby's brains grow better.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think that's a good point to make, that we really want to just uplift and empower the people that are doing this important work, and give them resources to be even better at it and to be considered professionals, and learn about running a business, as well as really supporting the growth and development of these young children. That spending 8 hours a day with a care provider is their learning environment. So these are really important hours of every day that are now being enhanced by more materials and access to education. And then, like Nancy said, access to social engagement and interacting with the other kids. And FFN has a great online group, private group, where the kids can share their art activities. They have their Zoom class live in their group, and it's really beautiful to see how they've built community among each other as well. And so I want to end by just talking a little bit about the funding for this program. I mentioned it is not funded at all by public dollars. We do look for public dollars whenever it's available, but this is a unique program that is funded entirely by private donations. So every participant in our program, right now we have over 40 care providers enrolled in FFN, and that in turn serves over 100 children. So the ripple effects of this program, the investment is so worth it that it's $1,000 per provider to enroll for a year. And then there's up to $5,000 scholarships for these providers to go to the Santa Fe Community College to get a certificate, which is a 1-year commitment, an associate's degree, which is a 2 or 3-year commitment based on how many classes they're taking at a time. So the funding for this comes from our generous donors like you all, and I want to invite you to consider funding this program at $1,000 per provider per year, and then with educational scholarships up to $5,000 per provider. It helps them get through the community college program and graduate with a professional certificate. So please consider that, and I will end our call with a short video that is for you, the donors who are watching this program, just to let you know how much we appreciate you. So I'll play that here.
Can you say it loud with me? Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all you do for our children. Thank you for your donations and your time. Please keep helping out when you have time. This is our future right here, our future leaders. Yay! Gracias.
Gracias a la maestra por cuidar a mis hijas y enseñarle a mis hijos también.
You, our donors, are our lifeblood. We couldn't do this work without you. Thank you so very much from United Way of Santa Fe County.